Klubnik, let's focus on. Let's talk a little bit about the quarterback because they took him with Nussmeier on the board. They took him after Beck and Aller went when they probably could have made a move up there if they wanted to go get those two quarterbacks. This might send shivers down the spines of Jet fans, but this selection to me is eerily similar to when the Jets decided to draft James Morgan.
I was like, where's he going to go with this? And as you were talking, I'm like, he's going to say James Morgan.
Yeah, and people get very, very angry over, I think that was I know it was Adam Gase, I think it was still Mike McCagnon, over the concept of drafting James Morgan. But the theory in it still, to me, made sense because, what James as a prospect read very, very similar to Klubnik. And I think there was, compare it. And so, not overly physically imposing quarterbacks. I think James was definitely a little bit bigger. Klubnik's only 6'2", 207. Not a super strong arm. James didn't have a super strong arm. Klubnik is probably a little bit better of an athlete, but still, they're not players that you're projecting to be starters at any point in their careers. What they are football junkies. They're guys, as Klubnik was described to me, a whiteboard warrior. You put him in the room, you put him in a film room, he's going to be able to break down any defense. He's going to know the playbook in and out. He's going to help your offense with tendencies. He's going to help the starting quarterback find different things that are coming out on the defense to help him in the film room. You're adding, you're almost adding like another coach into the room, if you will. And maybe in time you develop him and he's your long-term backup and he plays well in a couple preseason games or spot duties as starter. You can flip him for a draft pick before you pay him again, similar to what the Eagles are probably going to do with Tanner McKee. I don't hate that pick. I don't hate it for where the Jets got him. Trading up for it, maybe I can argue a little bit there that you shouldn't have done it, but this wasn't a particularly great draft class. When you see somebody you want to go get, you go up there and get. And this I look at long-term backup more than where we were talking somewhat with these quarterbacks, Zach, where it could have been physical phenom that you're hoping you can develop. This seems more like, forget that, we just want to find a backup quarterback.
I mean, it keeps the tradition going of the Jets drafting somebody in the fourth round that the fans are pissed off about. Like last year it was Arian Smith. Like,
that's right,
remember that? And a year from now, I mean, he might not make the team this year, so I guess they were right, the fans. But, look, to your point, with a quarterback position in particular, you have to really have belief in a guy to draft him really any time in the first, 4 rounds. So the Jets saw Cade Klubnik as the best quarterback on the board. They traded up to get him. Did I agree with them trading that fourth-round pick? No. Did I agree with them taking him even in the fourth round? Maybe not. But if you look at what happened after, he was the only quarterback drafted for a while. The next one drafted, I believe, was Cole Payton.
Garrett
Nussmeier didn't go till late 7th round, so there's something off there. Talon Green went in the 6th round. The kid from Rutgers got drafted ahead of Garrett Nussmeier. So clearly it wasn't a good quarterback class. I don't know that they needed to trade up for him. I don't know that he's going to be a starter in the NFL, but if his high-end potential is good backup, that's fine. Then the Jets have a cheap backup for the next few years. I think the question I have coming out of this, and Darren Muji was asked about it, coming out of owners' meetings, he was asked about, signing a veteran quarterback because, you and I have talked a lot about Carson Wentz and Andy Dalton and all these guys that they were maybe
Cooper
considering.
Rush,
and Cooper Rush, he's still out there. They just they seemed like they were willing to wait until the draft to see what they got. They got Klubnik, so now I'm curious, are you going to go into training camp or whatever, this next part of the offseason where Bailey Zappi, Cade Klubnik, and Brady Cook are your quarterbacks, or are they going to go and sign a Cooper Rush? And he didn't really answer it. He said, we're going to go back and look at it now. The landscape hasn't changed, but it's just something that I'm curious about because it's not the most inspiring quarterback room behind Geno Smith, and if we know Jets history, which we do, a backup is going to start again at some point.
At some point.
Do you feel that good about Klubnik? I mean, the jokes about having a tank commander will come out if they're not playing well and they have to play a guy like that. But I'm as with time passing from in the moment, that was not the guy I thought they were going to pick. I was surprised. I was like, what are they doing? As time gone on, I don't think it's that big of a deal ultimately. I just don't think they thought this draft was very talented. I know fans get attached to prospects that are on the board, but why didn't you get him? Why didn't you get that guy? He's this position. We need that. Well, a lot of other teams also passed on all these guys. BJ Payne fell to the 7th round. Fans would have been happy with him with that 4th round pick.
Correct.